Whoops. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As always,
Yes.
and unfortunately custom now, we only have your
Yes.
two hosts, myself and Juice. How you doing tonight, Juice?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. I'm all hyped up. Let's go.
Hyped up for what? SummerSlam? Hyped up for AEW? What are we hyped up for?
Everything. Everything. Let's go. We're good to talk. Got a lot of news.
We got a lot of news. We got a lot to talk about. We
Dive
got some
in.
SummerSlam predictions. We have
Yes.
some terrible wrestling matches we have to review tonight.
Oh no.
And I think that's it, right? Oh, and we have to announce next week's tournament, which is going to be a doozy. But first, as always, we start with the trivia. Juice, what you got for me tonight?
You know, it's funny. I'm probably melding my weeks together. I could have swore that I was last week, but I think it was you. But I think I already had the answer and I got mixed up.
Yeah. Last week was the John Cena one where you knew the answer and it was just so instant. The most losses at SummerSlam.
Yeah. So just a blurred in my head. Either way. So SummerSlam is this Saturday. And the first year of SummerSlam. Oh wait.
No, I'm listening. First year SummerSlam.
Okay. First year of SummerSlam was in 1988. What year did the WWE Championship change hands for the first time in the history of SummerSlam?
Wow, you son of a bitch. WWE Championship. 88. I got
Not the WWF, WWE.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm not tricking you. Okay.
I gotta assume Hogan was the champion for the first few, especially like 1991. 92 was the Wembley year, so I don't think did they do a title change that year? That was the shit. Who wrestled that year? That wasn't Hogan that year. What? Because Wembley was main evented by I might have been Wembley. Was it 92? No. Yeah, fuck it. I'll say 92. Who
That's your
wrestled
answer?
92? Savage and someone? Savage.
I thought the main event for 92 was Bulldog.
It was.
And,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought maybe it
okay.
changed hands at
Oh.
SummerSlam in 92, but
So
probably
is 92
not.
your answer?
Yeah.
The correct answer is 1997.
Wow.
Bret Hart and
Holy
Taker.
shit.
Yeah, it took almost 9 years until the title changed hands at SummerSlam.
That's wild.
I know. Yep.
97 too. That was the Highway to Hell one. I love that SummerSlam. That was such a good one. No, was that 97 or 98?
I think it was 98.
Whichever one was the Highway to Hell SummerSlam, that was one of my favorite ones.
Pretty sure it's 98 with the one with Austin and Taker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 98.
That's crazy. 1997. That's wild. Cool. Wasn't even close. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a few things to talk about. We'll save the announcement for next week for last. We'll do the match review first because then we'll just do our Where's Matt At when we do our predictions as we usually do. So, match review time.
So for those of you that don't know how this works, if you're watching
that's
along
totally
with
fair.
us,
Thank you.
it's a relatively new segment for us where we nominate matches for the other person to watch that they either have seen, haven't seen. We have an agenda. We have a particular reason. It could be anything. So it could be from any company, any person, any gimmick, and then we come on here and we talk about it and share our thoughts.
So far,
yeah.
my thought process for you have been matches you haven't seen, I hope, because I assume most of the WCW matches you haven't seen. I'm strictly sticking to WCW so far. That's going to change. But so far, it's been WCW. Just to give you more of an idea, because like as we do tournaments and stuff, you know, just so you guys can see what the other options are as we go through. That's kind of my agenda with the match review. And then this one, you know, as a tribute to next week's, and then with I'm sure you did yours with SummerSlam around the corner. I figure a nice bad match. We've done 2 good matches in a row, so let's do a nice bad match this time around. So why don't you start with it since you're already shaking your head?
I need to be freed. I need to be released from this WCW portal hole I'm going down. There is other wrestling in the world.
There is.
Please, it's getting worse and worse as the weeks go on. And this one was no better. So this match was Goldberg versus Steven Regal.
Yes.
from February 1998 on Monday Nitro. And I had not seen this before for obvious reasons. Just was not watching WCW at this point. I don't think I was even watching wrestling yet at this point. I think I got into it November '98, so I wasn't even didn't even exist. My little baby brain, my little teenage baby brain, no wrestling yet.
Hold on, sir. You alerted someone in the chat with the choice word. Did you say free? Because Freebird's asking right now.
Wait, what do you mean free? What?
You said someone sent me free, so Freebird's like, did you say free? All right.
Oh yes,
Well,
Freebird, send me free.
Freebird said that was an awful match,
Please.
so he's already feeling your pain.
So okay, so my first note, again, I don't know if you rewatched it in advance.
Oh,
discussed or not.
I've watched this match more than enough. I did not need to rewatch.
Okay. My first thought.
Wait,
my
first
thought
question.
Even...
Hold on, sorry. My first question: have you heard of this? Like in a lot of interviews and stuff that they've done, you know, with Regal, with Goldberg, or when they did the Relive the Nitro Wars or whatever. Have you even heard of this match at all?
So I hadn't.
Wow.
I had not. Now,
interesting.
That being said, after watching the match, I did look into it a little bit, but just to see like what's going on here.
That's awesome.
Obviously, I have my thoughts.
That makes me really more excited about this.
The first thing I noticed,
let's go,
as they're coming out, is I forget the name of them. You know those little like, well, kind of like what this was, like, you know, like the old WWF, like the Brawler Buddies.
Yeah, the plush show. I used to have one of those. I love those.
Yeah. So like, okay, I thought I was going crazy at first because they're walking out to the ring and there's like this big freaking like Macho Man gorilla, like it legit looks like one of these little dolls, but it's like life size, and it's like a mascot like clapping on Goldberg and Regal as they're coming out, and he's like standing like on the corner by the ramp. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or remember this.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not gonna lie. The entrance part I definitely wasn't paying attention to in that detail. I'm sure like I've seen it, but just not really paying attention to it. But WCW used to do a lot of that kind of stuff where they'd have like cheerleaders or mascots, depending on what arena they went into and stuff like that. So that's honestly, I probably didn't notice because that's just like part of the course for them. But that's hilarious.
Well, at first I thought it was just like a Macho Man, like that little doll thing. But then I looked closer. I'm like, it looks like a freaking gorilla. I just did not understand what I was seeing, and I was like, you know what, 1998 WCW, let them do their thing. Not even gonna fucking question it. So immediately the bell rings. Regal is just fucking stiffing the shit out of him, like throwing the uppercuts, hitting them with the freaking elbows, just nicking them, and you can just tell Goldberg immediately is like lost. He is like so confused. He's like, what is going on here? Like, I'm not like, I don't get what's going on. Like, Regal is just clearly going into business either for himself or just putting Goldberg in his place. I loved it. I mean, listen, obviously, big Goldberg hater here, lifelong, first time, long time.
Another reason why I chose this match for you, I figured you would love this.
Like, so this was, again, I don't really know the timeline or care to really remember or know it. This is like in the middle of his like run or early.
This is
like,
early on in the run.
It felt early-ish. Yeah. I just didn't really know when his Goldberg run was going.
It was getting hot. Like it was hot enough at that point. There was a reason for this match also. Like, and then like Goldberg kept grabbing Regal's arm to do an arm bar or like hold him, and every time he was grabbing his arm, it was wrong. Like, I'm no professional wrestler, but I know enough to know like when like you're supposed to hold certain body parts a certain way in a ring to protect your opponent. And here Regal's fucking up Goldberg at this point with his hits, but Goldberg's just grabbing the arm, looking like he wants to like legit break it, like he's trying to protect himself, and it's just hysterical because Regal keeps getting out of it. He keeps putting him in headlocks and like cravats and all this stuff, and it's amazing because Goldberg just cannot keep up. Freebird's loving all this, by the way. Goldberg exposed for not knowing how to wrestle. It was definitely hot enough.
Oh, it was awesome. And then freaking at one point, Goldberg goes to Irish whip Regal, and immediately Regal's just like, nope, fuck you. Plants his foot, just turns around and just decks Goldberg. Like, didn't even run the rope for Goldberg. It was amazing. Again, clearly Regal just was fucking hot. Like, he just was like, nah, I'm not putting up with this shit with Goldberg, which was amazing. And then Goldberg finally goes for a wrestling move, a spinning neck breaker, if you want to call it that. and they just like they can't even like flip with each other the right way because Goldberg either doesn't time it right or is going for something else and doesn't tell Regal. It was hysterical because like they just both just plop down and yes.
I love you
There's
describing all of this match.
well, I mean it's a 5 minute match. I can basically tell you everything that happened
So
spot for spot.
probably like the longest match in Goldberg's career. Also, just for the record.
Does not surprise me. At one point though, oh my god, like so Regal was down on the ground and like no, Regal's down on the ground, Goldberg was getting up, and Regal just fucking kicks him in the face. And I couldn't get enough. This was amazing. And like the crowd's booing, like they didn't really care at all. They were just like, this is your Goldberg. And I'm like, fuck you, I don't care. Like this is amazing. Um the best part, well, not the best part, and then obviously this train wreck just keeps going. But towards the end now, Regal's got Goldberg in the corner, like right before the spear. And you can finally see Goldberg, like his body and his face, just like, I'm done. Like, I'm fucking done with this shit. You can see he's getting like pissed now. The confusion's gone. Now the anger is coming out. And Goldberg just fucking spears him, jackhammers him, and that's it. It was over. What a fucking mess. Goldberg sucks.
I loved it.
God bless Regal.
I love everything you just said. I love everything you just went through.
Minus 5 stars.
So at that point, Goldberg was doing his Goldberg thing, which was 30-second matches, get in the ring, spear. Sorry, 30 seconds is still too long. 15, 20-second matches, get in the ring, spear, jackhammer, done. Spear, jackhammer, done. So that aura started getting great. And Bischoff, this is the only part that confused me, but I'll get to that in a second. Bischoff and Regal were talking and said, listen, like, we're priming him for the main event. I need to make sure this guy can go for like 10 minutes in a main event or whatever. So told Regal to stretch out the match and said, like, this isn't a squash, make it 6 minutes, whatever the case is. For some reason, though, didn't tell Goldberg. So, like, just went out and Goldberg was expecting a squash match, and all of a sudden Goldberg had to wrestle on the spot. Like, I don't understand what the purpose of that was. Like, I get you're trying to make sure the guy can go, but, like, let the guy know, hey, you got to go 5 minutes, get prepared, like, get ready for stuff in the ring. And then the other aspect of that was once Regal got, like, the green light, then he went into business for himself, as you saw, and was just like, all right, I'm going to light this motherfucker up because, like, he's a rookie. He needs to learn, and he's, like, real big-headed right now, so I need to put him in his place kind of thing. It was glorious to watch.
Yeah, well, because 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, all right, like, there needs to be a level of professionalism. Should have given him heads up, blah, blah, blah. In this case, this is the 1 out of 10. Fuck Goldberg.
Fuck Goldberg. But you know who I won't fuck? Keverlass, because he just gave us a Prime sub. Thank you, Keverlass, for a subscription. 8 months in a row. Fantastic. What a man. What a mighty good man. That's it. Oh, that wasn't the right one.
Yeah. My man. Thank you, Keverlass. Appreciate it.
So, Keverlass coming in at a great time. You just missed Juice talking about one of the worst matches, but one of the best matches with Steven Regal versus Goldberg, which was hilarious. I loved it. I don't know why you're so upset.
That's right. It's on the soundboard.
At least your matches had moves. At least one of your guys could wrestle. Would you like to tell the audience what fucking match you gave me to watch? And calling it a match is also very nice.
So, not going to lie, I forgot one of the opponents, but I remember the match was so bad. So what happened was, last year, I watched every SummerSlam that I'd never seen before. And there was a particular match from SummerSlam 92. It was Nails with a Z versus somebody who I'm now suppressing from my memory. And it was so bad that I didn't even go back and rewatch it for this segment. So I just remembered it was that bad and that boring that I had to let Danny relive it here and share his thoughts on the match now. So up and away, Daniel.
Freebird, the Steven William thing, that was when he was in WCW. That's when he was doing like the more of the blue blood English thing. So they called him Sir, like Steven Regal, and then they turned to Steven Regal eventually. So that's where the Steven Regal thing came from. Once he went to WWE, that's when they did like the construction worker Steven Regal, like the American Man or whatever. If you've never seen that, please go see it. It's the funniest shit in the world. He literally have like vignettes of William Regal in a construction outfit with the hard helmet, like doing work at sites and shit. It's the funniest shit in the goddamn world. And then they eventually changed him to William Regal and everything. Anyway, so the match was Nails versus fucking Virgil. All right.
Oh, Virgil, that
Virgil.
guy.
Yeah, Virgil. The second you put those two names, I was like, this is the worst match in history.
It was rough, man. I just remember it being like at Wembley. I was like, "What is this? What is this stinker?"
So your match and my match were about the same length. It was about 5 minutes. All right. My match was one man who was a former inmate of a prison, and apparently all he could do, because I think that's what he was put in prison for killing someone, specifically choking them to death. So all he could do in the ring was choke people. And I don't mean that as an over-exaggeration. He threw a punch, choked, threw a punch, choked. I think he went for one move, and it was coincidentally an armbar, like the wrong way. Very, very weird. And then you had the other guy who is fresh off, like the Ted DiBiase, being Ted DiBiase's servant / racist.
Yeah, Virgil.
Whatever undertone there. And he's coming out all like, we're ready to go in his little candy stripe fucking tights. And then just can't do anything. Like, can't knock the man down. Every roll up, every clothesline is just like thud. And then Nails goes back into the ropes and then comes back and just kicks the shit. And then, I'm sorry, chokes him. I was about to say kick the shit out of him. Just chokes him and then chokes him and then chokes him. I wish I could tell you more. Like yours had funny spots. Yours had a kick in the face. Mine had a choke. And then a choke. I don't know if I can express this enough, where it was just 4 or 5 minutes of choking. The other 1 minute was Virgil trying to do some stuff. So Nails wins on,
with what move?
On a headlock that he had sideways, and Virgil's neck is just all against his body, so not being choked out at all. But Virgil got choked out and went limp and lost the match.
Gave the people what they want, baby.
Yeah. All to set up the eventual Big Boss Man feud, nightstick on a pole match, I believe they had versus Big Boss Man and Nails. So yeah. Now with what?
Now, if the Big Boss Man beat Nails, did Nails have to go back to prison?
They like that one. That was a good one. So, with that being said, I want to make an announcement. I want to announce next week's tournament, because what you've done also wants to make me do a follow-up announcement that I hope Matt's on board for, that we will talk to him off camera. Would you like to announce next week's tournament? Because I know you're very excited about it.
Oh, sure. So your announcement was for the announcement. Classic Tony Khan. All right.
Let's go!
So, next week, here on the stream, beginning on August 8th, we will be doing a 256-man tournament. No, I'm kidding.
No.
It is a 64-man tournament to decide the worst wrestler of all time. This is in celebration of our 1-year anniversary, where we started with the greatest wrestler of all time. We are now flipping the script and going to the worst wrestler of all time tournament, where we will discuss the field and we will pick who we think is the worst. And with this tournament, we will also have the return of Juan Matthew. He's coming. He's coming back. All three of us will be here full strength for the tournament to decide the worst wrestler of all time. We hope you all join us. We hope you all tune in. It'll be a excellent time. I am more than sure of that.
Just looking at the names, I don't know how to decide. Like, every other tournament we've done, not that they've been easy, but at least, like, I know I'm not going to have to strain myself until, like, the third round. Maybe some first or second round surprises, but for the most part, the third round's where I really got to, like, think. Just looking at the list, I don't even know any first round matchup, I'm gonna look at it and be like, fuck. They both are terrible. Like, how do I choose who's worse? But
this is gonna be a 1 month long
because of
tournament.
you making me watch this goddamn match, you legitimately reminded me how bad Nails was. And I'm not, like, to the point where I really think Nails might be my favorite to win the tournament if we can please get him in. So I would like to please suggest, since we haven't announced the field and since everything's randomized, we will talk to Matt if he's okay with it. I would like to substitute in Nails to the tournament because I fucked up by not putting him in the first place.
This is some breaking news here, audience.
Yes,
and
this is your fault. This is your fault. If you hadn't made me watch
this is
the
not
match,
my fault by any
would
means.
not have remembered.
We will have to discuss this offline.
So we will
you will
discuss
all
this
see
offline.
next week if Nails. You will all see next week if Nails makes the tournament or not.
Yes. All right.
Oh,
so I'll leave you guys on that cliffhanger. I don't know. I'm looking at this list. I know who I'm taking out already, so that's easy too.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see if you get approvals.
I don't want to see the matchups I don't even want to see the matchups until literally Thursday. Like I have to. Fuck. Oh, I have to.
That's all right. We'll work it out.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so yes, next week, worst wrestler of all time. I have no idea how to decide this. We have wrestlers from TNA, WCW, WWE. I think that's some ECW. We have names from all the promotions. It's gonna be crazy. Like I also think we might have to put a time limit. I think the amount of discussion or just like pure sitting there and all of us being like, I don't know. I think we might have to put a time limit on next week. We can't have the audience here for 4 hours.
If there's ever one tournament we need to get right in the history of this show, it's this one.
I don't know if we could get this one wrong. That's how.
No, we need to get this right, Danny.
Guys, there's so many bad wrestlers. Like
this is gonna like go in our obituaries.
You know, there's gonna be so many we got called out for missing too. Like there's so many snubs that I can't even think of because it's just Jesus Christ.
I already told you my list was like we could have done 250 people.
For sure.
My list was long, but either way,
the audience, we can't do a tournament for 8 episodes.
You say that.
That's a mini series.
Hey, you say that. Worst wrestler of all time. People will tune in.
Oh,
they love the hatred. Hate.
Oh man.
Hate.
All right.
All right. It's
gonna be wild. I can't wait. For next week. So that will be next Thursday. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we will be trying to do a short episode next Tuesday just to do a little recap since we know Thursday will be mainly for the tournament and we don't want to wait 2 weeks for a recap because then it gets too much and we forget about some key stuff. So we're going to try be on the lookout for that special 2-episode week next week, we hope. So please come on down. Freebird, you know it. You know Ryback's on the list. There's no I'll spoil that for you. There's no way he's not on the list. So, listen, man, I got to make sure that they want to come back. They got to make sure they want to come back. They got to know some heavy hitters. All right? Ryback, I'll give you I might spoil one more by the end of the episode. I don't know.
Motherfucker.
I don't know.
Move on. Next topic. We're over.
All right. We got to move on.
No more spoiler.
I might. All right. So, next up, we have Where's Matt at? Because motherfucker, does he work here anymore?
He's coming.
I hope
he's coming. We got the graphic coming up.
That's the problem.
Matt returns next week. There's the little graphic for him. Like Roman Reigns is coming back.
Oh, we should have had. I'm disappointed that we didn't have that.
Or we do like Veer is coming, but like Matt is coming. It's just Matt screaming.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely make that, and we're gonna start posting that. We have to. That's great. That's fantastic. I'm so excited right now. All right, so Matt is still at home being a dad. Loser. So we're here. What?
Let's talk AEW Ring of Honor first.
I agree. We're going to hear talk This Week in Wrestling. AEW Ring of Honor first. Juice, start us off.
So, little bit of a shorter week for us technically
Yes.
because we don't have a Dynamite since last Thursday. But there was Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor on Friday night, along with Rampage. Plus, Collision had a Battle of the Belts at the end of it, so we kind of got our hours worth back of content to talk about. The first thing I wanted to mention was Rampage, the Royal Rampage. We have our winner. We have our world title challenger for Grand Slam in New York City in September. It is going to be Darby Allin.
So I've been saving this for the pod. You are the reason why I was on the edge of my seat for Royal Rampage. All right. Because last episode, you had come out with 2 picks, which I hated. I didn't like the picks, but you had said it so, like, matter-of-factly that I was like, oh, man, there's a good chance. And then throughout the match, those 2 picks kept looking like the wins, and I was like, I am going to be so mad when we go to Grand Slam and watch this shitty main event. And then they didn't win. I was like, fuck you, Juice. I wouldn't have even thought about it. If Jeff Jarrett, you would have been mad if Jeff Jarrett was the main event for Grand Slam.
Well, yes.
Okay, thank you. So that's number 1. Thank
I
God
was
Adam
more
Page took him
defensive.
out.
I was more defensive of Claudio, but okay.
Agreed, but also Claudio, just as much as I love Claudio, I like Darby Allin much better than Claudio for the main event. That's gonna be, I think, a better match. It's gonna be more exciting for us. So I think that's a better pick. I wouldn't have even thought of Claudio until you mentioned it, because if I had seen the way it was going down, I would have been like, oh yeah, Darby Allin. But then you say Claudio, I'm like, son of a bitch, Claudio might get the fucking win here. All right. Goddamn, Juice, that's twice. That's twice, Juice. You've affected my mindset with your picks, with your words.
Sometimes I just get the bookers and I know what they're gonna do.
Son of a bitch.
And it's all right. You all know the deal. So I'm curious, obviously now with the match, because it's one of 2 things you would think. It's either gonna be Darby versus Swerve or Darby versus Danielson. I mean, they'd both be dope matches. Ideally, I personally want Darby versus Danielson more, only because when Danielson announced his retirement, I made a list of matches that I've wanted him to see him do that he's never had before. Darby was the first name on my list.
Oh, that's
He's
dope.
never touched with Darby.
That's dope.
And I think that would be phenomenal. Obviously, him and Swerve would still be dope. They've fought a few times already, but still be good. But
to be honest with you, just for the selfish reason, as I'm a Danielson fan, I just want to see him have one run, and if that means that we can actually watch him with the belt live, that'd be fucking dope. Mm-hmm. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that match would be great, but I more just want to see Danielson with the championship at Grand Slam.
It's funny. I saw some people complaining about why is Darby getting a world title shot when he just got a TNT title shot. And I didn't even think of that in the moment. I was just dope because it's Grand Slam, and odds are Jack Perry's beating him anyway. So I didn't really care too much about that, but I get what people are saying. But I mean,
but
he
also
won the match to earn it. So
as much as I know wrestling's scripted, there are times in who said that? There are times in life where people get to double dip. There are certain circumstances where hey, guess what? Whether you earned it or not, I get 2 shots at 2 pieces of the pie. He won a Royal Rampage, he won a Rumble. It's not like he got named the number 1 contender and gets a separate match because he's Darby Allin. He won a random Rumble, and that can happen. So now he has 2 title shots. Good for him.
I do find it very interesting though that they're jumping to Grand Slam when All Out is literally right there after All In. So I'm curious what that means, but we'll let it play out and see how it goes. But I do find that very interesting why you would skip a pay-per-view and go for a TV title match. But
I mean,
either way, I love it.
As much as we say that, and I know it's cliche, but they really Blood and Guts and Grand Slam. They really do treat pay-per-views. So I guess.
I really don't get why you would ignore or skip one in the cycle. Is all.
No, I agree. It is strange. I wonder what they're setting up for that. Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about Saraya for a second. I don't know if you saw her promo, her segment from Rampage towards the end. But during her promo, was that?
I did.
Yeah, during her promo, like she keeps saying like she's gonna wrestle at Wembley. She's gonna wrestle it all in. And I'm wondering where she could fit in because they've already done the 2 title matches. They're set. So either they're doing some sort of like battle royal, or like she's gonna challenge Willow or something for another belt. I'm just curious what you think they're gonna do with Saraya because she's like they're talking about it way too much to just not do something with her at Wembley.
That's what I'm afraid of, that they're just not going to do something with her at Wembley, but it does seem weird. I think she's going to just be on some pre-show. I don't know if it's going to be like some multi-woman match or if it's going to be a one-on-one because it's Saraya, but I think she's going to be on the 0 hour just to make sure also that they kind of get those people in the seats. I mean, it's Wembley, so they're going to get them in when the doors open, but they really want to make sure their seats are filled, get Saraya in early. That's like the opening match, so like everyone's there. 0 hours, so people know that'll be an early match, and then they take off with everything else. Because you can't put her in any other storyline; it doesn't make any sense. She's not. She doesn't fit anywhere with Britt versus Mercedes.
Mercedes.
And
I mean, she could, but they're not going to put her in a match.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Tony Mariah has been months and months of storytelling. You're just not going to shoehorn her in because it's England. That's just stupid. Plus, no, it just doesn't make sense. But I agree with you. It's weird. They have to put her on the card. It would look strange if they didn't.
Did you have anything else about Rampage that you want to talk about?
No. Rampage is pretty much the Rumble was like the big thing for me. The main event was the 4-way tag team match. What I found weird about that was that it just started. Like, it's your main event. There was like no entrances or whatever. They were just like, bam, we're starting with it. Where like the Royal Rampage, they gave everyone an entrance.
So I didn't mind it, but yeah, it was definitely done for time. That's all.
Yeah,
so they can
for sure.
Squeeze more in.
For sure. Collision.
Did you watch that? Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you watch Death Before Dishonor at all?
No, I did not. Not gonna lie.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because I thought it was a very good show.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
And for anyone that didn't watch it, I would recommend checking it out. Specifically, a few matches. I wanted to give shout outs to a few of the winners. Layla Hirsch beat Diamante in a Texas death match. And apparently it was the first ever Texas death match in women's wrestling, at least in Ring of Honor. I don't know about all time, probably not. But very good. I've always been a big Layla Hirsch fan.
Layla Hirsch.
Hype she won. Hopefully something can come from it now with a women's title program or something. Lee Moriarty won the Pure title from Wheeler Yuta. So
yeah, I saw he didn't have it on Collision. They were talking about that a little bit.
Yep, very deserving. I'm excited for him. Hopefully, again, more comes from it now. And also, Red Velvet won the Ring of Honor Women's TV title from Billy Starks. Again, big Red Velvet fan, hype for her. So I like a lot of like winners, a lot of title changes that I feel like were due and needed to happen. People getting a big moment on the pay-per-view. So I thought that was very well done, all those matches. Athena retained. She did not have her boot on. I know we talked about that in the recent weeks. Did not have her boot on. She did wrestle completely fine. She retained. So I'm glad she retained. And seems like she's okay.
Good for her.
Yep, all good on that front. And then I think that was it for Death Before Dishonor. I had some other Ring of Honor notes.
How was the Strong versus Briscoe match?
Strong versus Briscoe was awesome. It was solid. I mean, I've seen them one-on-one fight a ton of times, so they're always easy to watch. Nice, solid match. Briscoe retained.
Yeah.
Strong did not win it.
That Collision promo had me in tears. So yes, I saw Strong retain. That was great.
The baby, the Jay Briscoe baby.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That's actually one of my notes. We can talk about baby Jay Briscoe.
Oh yeah, let's jump right to that.
The world title, and he's throwing the title up like a baby. That was amazing.
The audience's reaction too, just because like no one expected it, you could tell. So just the fact that he just started doing it, was like, "What? Ah!" Like that was perfect, and his face was just so good while like just holding it the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I love the baby. Baby, I was waiting for that baby to start crying. I was waiting because he's like shaking it, going around like.
But like,
baby, just
that kid's definitely used to that, man. That's not the first time
that's
happened to him.
He probably practiced with him all
For
day.
sure, that kid's totally used to it. He's just like, all right, like there's just more people here. Like that's the only difference.
Oh man. Um, some quick Ring of Honor spoilers for anyone out there
Oh
that
no.
cares enough and
Oh
doesn't
no.
want to listen. You can mute your screens now for the next 30 seconds. But some things that they're doing on Ring of Honor that are coming up I like is they're pairing up Layla Gray with Top Flight. Apparently they're making her like a flight attendant gimmick to be with Top Flight.
That's
So
funny.
anything to I like Layla Gray, anything to boost up Top Flight, give them a nice little look. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Also, some big news. I'm wondering if they're gonna spoil it on AEW TV before it happens in Ring of Honor. But they brought back Sammy Guevara to Ring of Honor this past weekend.
Oh.
Did not show up on the pay-per-view. He showed up on the TV tapings. So in the canon of wrestling, he hasn't returned to anything yet. But I'm just curious if they're gonna like bring him back on AEW like this week now before the Ring of Honor debut. But
Yeah, that's very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I'm just surprised. I figured he'd come back to AEW. But hey, I mean, if he's gonna stay in Ring of Honor and that's it, that's a good shot in the arm for them.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, so we can move on to Collision now. Do you have any thoughts you wanted to share about Collision? Before we roll on.
I don't want to sound like a hater,
Do it. Hey.
but Collision was boring.
Oh. Oh.
Like, I, the main event, I'm sorry, Leo Rush just isn't, like, gonna make me stay for the main event as much as I like him. He's a good wrestler. Pac's a great wrestler, but, like, he kind of lost his appeal with all, like, the start-stop. And I know it's all, like, I know what he went through and stuff. I'm not saying anything bad. Just the wrestler aura around Leo Rush that he had, like, a few years ago just isn't there for me. So, like, that was a weird choice for the main event for me. And then there was one match I'm trying to think of. Oh, the hologram match. I don't know if it's the audience so into him, but like he's growing on me. I don't
Mhm.
hate it. Pretty interesting match. I'm surprised the audience loves him so much though. That really does that really shocked me. Like they're already like really on board with this guy.
They're taking to him.
Yeah, like a lot. But no, I
Mhm.
besides that, I thought it was a pretty eh, collision. I think they were so focused on Battle of the Belts that they kind of just besides the opening match. Oh, that's what it was. The opening match I loved, obviously. Cassidy versus Johnny TV was pretty good to me. I like the attack afterward. Are they setting up another mixed tag match?
It's funny because I thought the Orange Cassidy Johnny TV match was a little bit of a mismatch. It didn't seem like they gelled together too well. Like I love them both, but they
Mm-hmm.
didn't really feel like I don't know. Like, I kind of felt it, and then halfway in, my brother kind of said it, and I was like, all right, so it's not just me. Like
Well,
they didn't feel like they were really
keep in mind, I
working.
mean, I love it because it's Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, no, no, yeah. I'm just saying the match though. And in terms of the mixed tag, I mean, they could run it back on TV. Obviously, I don't know if you know, but this past weekend was San Diego Comic Con,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason they were doing stuff with those four was because at Comic Con, those four were involved in like a Adult Swim like tag team tournament with like Adult Swim characters like Meatwad and Mr. Frog and all that stuff. I don't know if you've
Gotcha.
heard about this or saw it, but it's a whole
No,
thing.
no idea.
So yeah, so that's why Cassidy and Willow and Taya and Johnny were like working together this weekend still.
That's
They
hilarious.
could run it back on AEW, but yeah, that's why. Um, I didn't hate this episode of Collision. Like I didn't find it boring, but I found it was like it's kind of what Collision's always kind of felt like to me. It just feels like a fun like night. Like it's just there as a fun night. Like it's not like Dynamite's like the A show, like event piece of like crazy stuff, whatever. Collision has those moments, but Collision's always kind of more of like a chill, fun vibe for me when I watch it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's WCW Thunder, WCW Saturday Night for me. Like that's what it reminds me of. Just like a hey, like tune in and watch. But like when you're trying to build it as the other episode, and like you're trying to put some guys exclusively on the show, you gotta give it a little more.
there are some weeks, not recently, but there are some weeks where you can just tell they are phoning it in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not great. And those ones kind of stink. This week I didn't feel that though. This weekend just felt like it was just like a nice, fun, simple night of
Yeah,
wrestling.
I think that's more of what it was. Is that I wanted more story, and there wasn't more
Mhm.
story. Like it was just like random matches and like not bad matches, just like the FTR MM whatever they call themselves. That's hilarious.
MXM.
Yeah, that's hilarious that those Maximum guys are still like teaming together and shit. That's great. When they said Mansoor, I was
So
like, oh shit, that really is Mansoor. That's fucking hilarious.
I was gonna ask you your thoughts on that because they wrestled on Ring of Honor the night before and then got the collision spot. And it's funny because I told my brother, I was like, I said it on the Friday night, I guarantee you they're on Dynamite or Collision by the end of August or the
That's
end of
funny.
September or something. And he's like, no way. He's like, he's keeping them in Ring of Honor.
Next
And then
night.
literally like they announced like that night, oh, they're on FTR tomorrow night. And I was like, what the fuck did I say? Tony
That's
can't help
hilarious.
himself.
They
Yeah,
didn't
what do you
look
think?
bad, but like, I'm not like excited for them. I don't care if they sign or not.
Apparently they're already signed to Ring of Honor. Like they're already under Ring of Honor deals.
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
never liked them. I'm not a fan. I'm sure they're nice guys and good people, but as talents, I
Yeah,
don't care at all to see them on my screen.
that's what I'm saying. I don't
So
really care about them.
like it's just with the amount of talent that's already there, every time somebody new comes in, like unless like they're a home run reasoning, like this isn't one of those. Like I just like why are they on my screen when I could be seeing more Private Party
Yeah.
or more Top Flight or just any other tag team? Like it doesn't make sense. I don't like it. It makes sense. I
No,
just don't
I hear
like
what
it.
you mean. And then the only other
Um,
thing I want to say about Collision that I hated is all this Lance Archer shit. Like, it's annoying the hell out of me because you're not building him up for anything. You do this crap all the time. Like Tony Khan hates big men. That's really what it comes down to. He doesn't let them win. They never have their moment. So like all this squash and you're dragging people to the ring and then you're beating up everyone on the way and all this blah blah blah. Like you're not doing it against anyone knows. So no one cares about the guys you're beating up. It's not impressing anyone because it's the same shit every week. It's just so annoying, bro. And I like Lance Archer. It's not his fault. This is just the story they have for him, which is garbage.
See, I'm not. I've never really been a Lance Archer guy. Like he's gotten better in AEW. Like I can tolerate him enough. It's fine. But I really don't like. I'm never like, oh man, where's Lance Archer? Come on, like the way you feel about it. Like I'm like, whatever, fine. Like he'll he'll be gone by the time they're done with Texas. He'll be gone. They're just giving him
Exactly.
Imagine Texas against Will Ospreay because he's from Texas, and then
Exactly.
he'll disappear. So he doesn't get big wins. It's just they build him up as a threat. It's like Nyla Rose. He's just there to be that buffer for talent, another talent, and maybe he's fine with it. We don't know, but yeah, it is what it is at this point. I don't really care about Archer.
Agreed.
Um, I really liked the Jericho promo this week. Backstage promo he did.
Oh my God, you like something Jericho did?
Yeah, okay, and I like Jericho and Suzuki too
I know,
when they
I know, I
fought.
know, I know.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, I still like Jericho. I just can't stand the way he
Special needs
talks.
Jericho.
Yeah,
That's
like
what we'll
so
call
when
him.
he was being like serious with it, and like the way he was delivering that promo, very well done. So I
Mm-hmm.
liked it a lot. So props to Jericho on that.
Bye,
Hopefully
guys.
he hears this. Friend of the show, Chris Jericho. Hello.
Friend of the show.
Any other? You finish your collision thoughts. So Battle of the Belts.
Loved it. I really did like it. I thought, and like night and day from Collision, which is weird. I like Taya versus Tony. I really like anything Tony does. I like Taya versus Tony. Nightingale versus Perazzo. Whatever. That wasn't like lights out, but good match. And then the trios match, great surprise. Nice little hometown win and stuff. That was awesome, I thought. And he gets the belts finally, like, back into ROH kind of and off, like, whatever they're not doing with the belts in AEW.
So I already kind of mentioned this to you via text. I think the way they went about it was very sloppy. Like, I don't get why we did Von Erickson Rhodes versus Dark Order on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and then the Von Erickson Rhodes fought the Undisputed Kingdom at Battle of the Belts. Like, I don't get why Undisputed Kingdom kind of got a bye or got this position. Like, they're already tag champions. Like, just run that one tag match and let that be it.
Yeah.
Like, it was very convoluted. I don't get why they went the way they went with it. I don't like that. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I don't like that they won the tag belts because prior to Friday night when they beat the Dark Order to get this match, they had only teamed up once ever. and they won that match too. But
Yeah,
like,
but Dustin finished his story.
uh, I just again, I like Dustin. I don't really care for the Von Erichs, but like, I don't know,
I just
like
honestly, I just
whatever.
didn't want to see Undisputed Kingdom with him because like it's just gonna be
Me,
more belts that they're not doing anything with on AWTV.
oh, me neither. I was rooting for Dark Order to win the whole
Yeah,
damn thing because
yeah,
they deserve
yeah.
it.
We were talking about
That's
that.
all. And like, so whatever. Just hopefully by the end of the Texas run, they lose them and they're gone, and someone else steps in and gets them. That'd be cool.
Totally fair.
Although now I'm going to contradict myself, like we were just saying with the title belts and getting them off of people and getting them off of AEW. I want the Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes to feud with the patriarchy. It's a gold mine for Christian.
It would be
I know it gets more trios
fucking
belts.
great. I don't even
No
care if it's belts versus
unification.
belts. I don't care how it ends. Unify them, don't unify them, whatever. That would be just the most golden promos. I would fucking love it.
Christian going after Dustin Rhodes and Von Erichs about their dead fathers.
Oh my
It's a
god.
gold mine. I want it.
Oh my
I want
god.
it.
I really do
Yes.
want that now. That's so good. That's
And
so fucking funny.
I have one more AEW note. If you have any, you can go first because mine's going to kind of lead us into WWE.
Last, you're good.
All right. So this week's collision, I don't know if you saw, has a special start time of 5 p.m.
I did not see. Why is that?
And I was wondering why, and it didn't hit me at first. So they are airing Collision at 5 p.m. this week, and it is
Olympics.
pre-taped. It's pre-taped from Thursday because they don't want to compete against SummerSlam.
I thought there was the Olympics or some shit like that. That's so funny.
Nope.
Yeah,
So
that's funny.
So they are starting Collision at 5, ending it at 7, and then the pay-per-view SummerSlam starts at 7. It's already going to be pre-taped, so it's going to be a little bit
If
of a
they
loss.
just
I don't
stacked
get
that
why they're
collision
even...
card, I would have probably watched that over SummerSlam.
Well, again, it's pre-taped now, so who knows what it's going to be. It's probably going to be kind of shit.
It is.
Like, I don't like that they're moving away from the time slot. Like, just stick to your time slot, man.
Yeah.
Like
honestly,
stick
I
to it.
don't see the ratings getting higher at 5 o'clock on a Saturday anyway. So like,
And what pisses me off even more, and we're going to get to this now, is
let's go.
to counter-program that. I don't know if you saw this, but WWE is doing a 3-hour kickoff show. They're starting in at 4 o'clock just to get everybody to watch the kickoff show at 4 and not tune into AEW at 5. So the move off of 8 p.m. doesn't even fucking help them.
Juice, for the third time, you have said something that has reignited some anger in me that I was going to save for later. But I might as well fucking pull it up now.
Go!
SummerSlam. Okay, sorry. WWE has had 2 major stories going on for the past few months that are supposed to be their big-ass fucking stories. The Wyatt Six and the Bloodline.
Yes.
The tag team titles will be challenged by the Bloodline the night fucking before SummerSlam on SmackDown. You're doing a 3-hour pre-show. You can't put the tag team titles on the pre-show and try to do a Bloodline wins and try to like tease a Bloodline wins all the gold in one night kind of shit.
Nope.
Then you have the Wyatt Six, who is in this big feud with Chad Gable and them. And you know when their fucking debut match, 6-man tag team match is going to be?
Next week on Raw.
The Raw after. Instead of the 3-hour fucking pre-show. Like, what the fuck? I don't understand.
Well, now we get to sit around and watch Wade Barrett and Big E talk to Jackie Redmond for 3 hours about what they think's going to happen.
Well, now also that fucking CM Punk interview is probably going to be like an hour long that they're going to play also during the pre-show, so they're going to try to suck people in with that also.
It's just, listen.
And the interview is about what? Why Punk hates Drew? We don't know that already? You need to do an hour-long interview to tell us why Punk hates. That's what the fucking feud is.
It's all very sad and pathetic.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
2-hour pre-show is long enough, but like
Fuck.
3 hour pre-show for SummerSlam. What are we
With no
doing, man?
matches, with no
What are we
matches
doing,
announced
bro?
for it. They don't do matches on the pre-show anymore. So what? What? Why do we need a 3 hour pre-show? For what? For who?
Yeah, I know. I
Might
know,
as well
Danny.
just pull up the fucking SummerSlam card.
All right. Do we need to take a break soon? Are we good?
Yeah, we got an hour.
Okay. Oh, Dios mío.
I'm mad.
All
I'm
right.
mad now. I didn't
Yeah.
know about the 3 hours. That just got me more upset.
Yes, yes.
Son of a bitch. Oh, I didn't finish filling in Juice's stuff because we started talking.
You mean Matt?
Yeah, you're a Juice. That's how mad I am. I don't remember people's names anymore. All right.
It's
So,
all right. All right. So, just so I know before we really dive in, are we just doing the SummerSlam to talk about all things WWE, or are we gonna do this and then talk other things WWE that you want to talk about?
I was gonna mainly just use this for SummerSlam or for WWE, and then if you do have anything else you want to bring up, or I do, we'll just say that we'll just add it at the end
All right. Well, I feel like this is a good time as
or
any.
now.
Yeah. I feel like this is as good a time as any to make my confession to the
Uh-oh.
chat and to all of our
Oh
viewers at
yeah.
home.
Oh my God, I forgot about your confession. What the hell's going on?
So I've done something terrible, something awful that I regret and I cannot take back. I'm here to apologize to everybody for it, and I don't know what it's going to mean for me going forward in the future. But last night I watched Monday Night Raw
Ah,
on the Sci-Fi Network, and I feel empty.
you loved it. It was such a good Raw.
I hate myself. It was not a good experience. Just feels good to get off my chest, you know. Um, yeah, so it took me about an hour. I skipped through the stuff I don't want to watch as usual, but I did it for the love of the game. I did it for the show, for all of you people,
I'm gonna
and here we
say
are.
you also did it on the hope that they let Balor and Walter do themselves justice, which in true WWE style they did not.
I forgot they were even doing that match until halfway in.
That's hilarious. That's honestly,
um,
I was hoping that like they would just let them go off for their first singles match ever, and it was really lackluster.
yeah. So
Unfortunate.
I guess we can just go match by match, and when I have notes about that match, I can bring them up
That
based on
sounds
my
good
notes
to
because
me.
I do have notes from from Raw. Ugh. But it was just awful.
All right,
So bad.
starting off with as they put it last night, the clash of class, where we have Damian Priest versus Gunther. Now, until Michael Cole said that last night, I've been loving the promos and the way they've been setting up this rivalry with just Gunther talking about like last night's promo was really dope. How he was like mentioning how Judgment Day just kind of like is just a bunch of like street thugs, and they've taken like someone like Finn Balor and they've made him into like a joke and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh man, like you're just once again just saying what we all kind of think and shit, and it's great. And I love the promo. And then Michael Cole's like, in a battle of classes, and I was like, shut the fuck up. You're like, shut up, Michael. Shut your mouth and let them just do their
Stupid
story.
Maggle.
God damn it. But this is the match I'm looking forward to the most, surprisingly, just because of the story itself. Maybe second most. I'll give actually that to Punk and Drew. My apologies. Punk and Drew for sure. But after
As it
that
should.
would be Priest and Gunther, just because like that's the best story right now that's on the card. So that's the only story where like I'm actually watching the promos and caring about what the hell they're saying, and I think like this is the match where I'm hoping also Gunther wins. I know a lot of people are saying he's not going to, but I really hope that they just kind of go through with this because I think that's just where they got to go next. So my pick's Gunther.
All right. So I think I'm gonna stick with my gut here on what I said last week. Um, I don't see Walter winning it here. Plus,
Oh, sorry.
I'm also
Keverlast has given you props for even watching Raw. He
I
said, I watched until Jay came out.
bro, it was bad. It was really bad.
Yeet.
Like, no yeet. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Priest, because I'm keeping in mind that 4 weeks from now they're running another pay-per-view in Berlin, and something tells me he'll win it there. Yeah, I just I don't know.
We'll see.
From what I've seen, even from last night, I'm just not seeing it right now.
No, that's totally fair. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know where I don't know where they're gonna go with this story. So 100% that makes sense.
Yeah.
Next up, and for the record, if you guys just are listening, not seeing, Matt put Gunther as well. So 2-1 right now in favor of Gunther. Next,
Walter.
which should really tell me I should probably change my pick. Next up, if all else fails, if I'm never sure anyone else, just choose opposite Matt most of the time. All right, next up we have WWE Women's Title match: Bayley versus Nia Jax, Juice's favorite women's wrestler ever.
That's a whole other tournament for a whole other day.
I mean, that one might be harder to do than the male's worst wrestler of all time.
Mm.
All right. So, Bayley versus Nia Jax, I don't think I really have to ask you, but I formally will. Who is your pick to win this match?
So the only factor here is the Money in the Bank factor. I don't think Nia, if she wins it clean, or like comes out of it. I just don't know the odds of a Tiffy time session. I'm gonna say not yet. I'm gonna say Bayley. I don't think Nia is gonna like win it yet. So I'm gonna say Bayley.
No, I agree. I mean, I just don't want to see Nia win it also, but I think that it's a weirder story if Tiffy cashes in on Nia. I think it's a better story if Tiffy cashes on someone else and then Nia and her, start disagreeing and then Nia attacks her and yada yada, and that's how she turns. So, yeah, I agree.
By the
Bayley.
way, I think if Stratton makes it out of SummerSlam with the briefcase still, I think she's officially the second longest holder of the briefcase. I want to point that out.
In his of male or female or just female?
No, female.
Okay,
Female.
just checking, just making sure.
Yeah. I think Carmella is the only one that's held it outside of SummerSlam. Every other female's cashed it either at SummerSlam or prior.
That's crazy.
That 1 month.
Yeah. Sad. That's what Juice is here for, ladies and gentlemen. Got the numbers.
Ow!
All right, next up. Clean sweep for Bayley, by the way. Matt also chooses Bayley. Next up, we have the other women's title match, the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan versus Mommy Rhea Ripley. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, I'll go first. First off, my note that I have written here, Rhea's promo from last night was more typical bullshit.
Yep.
In particular, she says, she says to Liv, you want to be the villain so bad. You want me to be the villain in your story so badly. And it's like,
you are.
Well, yes, you are. Like, you're the one that did all this to Liv, that set this in motion. So it's more of that.
And
that's what's killing me with the whole story. It's just like the character lines are so flipped, and that's what pisses me off. That's why I'm so checked out.
Can we also point out, and it's not even like it's not even like Rhea didn't acknowledge this before she got in. Like, when she was the heel, she said, yes, I took her. Like, she acknowledged everything. She said, I was the reason this happened to you. Now all of a sudden she's back and it's like, why are you blaming me? Why am I the bad guy? It's like, you owned it until you got hurt, and now all of a sudden you don't own it. And that's what pisses me off, that they do this shit with them.
Yeah. It's all fucking ass backwards.
It's so stupid.
I'm sticking with my gut with what I said last week or two. Liv is retaining, and it's going to be either it's either going to be Dom turning on purpose or on accident. But either way, Rhea should not leave this show as champion at all.
No, I agree. I believe Dom is gonna cost her the match. I really honestly, this might be the night like Judgment Day really just falls apart. If Priest loses, Rhea loses, Dom turns on Rhea, Finn's gonna turn on Priest. Might be the end of the Judgment Day as we know it. Sad days. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna hold a funeral for them. Can we do a memorial?
Yes. No.
Next week's show, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Memorial.
I want to live in a world.
Doesn't make it past.
I want to live in a world where Judgment Day and Bloodline no longer exist in WWE.
That's rude. The Judgment Day, don't put them on the same. Don't put them on the
same.
They're the
worst.
Low pattern.
The worst.
Speaking of
I was there in the
worst, we have spoiler, another one on our list for next week's worst wrestler of the year of all time: Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE title.
Yeah, but which one? Tune in.
Which one? What? Oh, yeah, which one is on the list?
Which one's on the list? Cody or Solo? Tune in to find out.
That's hilarious. Fine, I won't go any further. That's mad funny. So we have Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. We've talked about this. You said this. I totally agree. It's not going to happen. Solo should win this match. If you want the Bloodline to actually have any chance, if you want anyone to believe that Solo's going to do something, the guy who had the fourth or fifth most losses last year in WWE, maybe you give him the title for even like a month just to make us believe that he might be a badass, even though with the way he dresses and the way he talks, he looks like a fucking nerd, and I hate him. He's the worst. The worst. I can't stand him. So with that being said, please God, Cody Rhodes, you're going to win. It happens. It is what it is.
Look, I'm Solo Sikoa doing the shadow box.
What's your choice, Juice?
Yeah, give me Cody.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Solo would be crazy dope if they did it. I don't know if Roman comes back here. I feel like he almost has to.
I mean, he called him out. I don't know if you heard that on Sunday, but
that I did not.
Okay, so that last promo that they did was saying how like next week the Bloodline's gonna win the tag belts and how Solo's gonna be the new win the new championship, and then specifically said, and if anyone, even Roman Reigns, has a problem with that, you know where to find me. So we'll see what happens.
Whatever, man. He's gonna show up and not come around again until like 2 months.
Yeah, until Survivor Series. He'll be recruiting. Whatever. The Usos, they'll be training together.
Like I told you, it's one thing to be a heel and be away from TV, but if he's a babyface now and still doing the part-time shit,
gotta be here.
I don't care.
Gotta be. True, 100%. Yeah. Next up,
speaking of part-timers,
this is just like I feel like a Clash of the Champions mask in SummerSlam right now. Next up, next title match, WWE United States title match, Logan Paul versus L.A. Knight. Yeah. I beat you to it.
Point of clarification, though, Matt's pick is Logan Paul.
You're right.
Just want to get that in the record books accurately for our friend Matthew.
He should be here, all right? He should tell us in person. So
he'll be here next week.
Spoiler alert, neither one of these made the cut for worst wrestler of all time because we have the greatest United States champion of all time versus one of the hottest up-and-coming rising stars in WWE with LA Knight versus Logan Paul. I just wanted to clarify that. With that being said, they have to take the title off him, right? I mean, they're not going to probably, but they should. I think it's time. What do we think?
You get nothing from me after that statement. LA Knight.
All right, Juice. Might not talk anymore for the rest of the episode. Luckily, we're almost done.
No, I'm good here now. You're not getting anything.
Oh, just from that one. All right.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
2 matches left. Last title match so far that they've announced is the WWE Intercontinental title match, which is Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Breaker. I think with the way everything's going, I think they're gonna give it to Braun here. I don't see why you carry this feud out and do this just to have him lose twice.
Yeah, this is probably the hardest one of the night for me to pick, just because of how stupid they handled it last month.
100%, 100%. Like I
Um,
wrote it and I pressed enter. I'm like, maybe you're
yeah,
wrong.
I mean, also my thing is like, I know there's 7 matches this time compared to 5. But Triple H is notorious for only doing one title match a night, one title change a night. Like, I know in Mania he did it, but besides Mania, is like he like always fucking just won if you're
Yeah,
lucky. Um, Give me Braun. I'll keep thinking about it, but just because they should have done it last month.
agreed,
Um, yeah.
agreed. And the last match of the night. Now, this brings me to my next angry point of SummerSlam. This is the only gimmick match. And it's not even like a real gimmick match. It's just to get Seth Rollins in there. But this is the only gimmick match of the night. And that's kind of freaking boring. I'm not going to lie. Like, you could have
It's
done a
all
ladder
singles.
match. You could have done a multi-man match. You could have done a whole bunch of different stuff. And you don't do anything. You have a whole bunch of one-on-ones, half of which you didn't do a good story for. The two good stories you're doing aren't on the fucking card, which, again, I can't get over. Your tag team title match where you're building the bloodline, your Wyatt 6 match, those are not good stories,
And
sorry, but the
and
stories that are
your
being told.
and your women's tag titles. You're
And your
doing
women's
those on
tag titles,
SmackDown
yes.
too.
Yeah, and actually, I would argue the, uh, what, the new faction of Starks and Baszler and DeVille versus
Oh,
Damage Control, that just got picked up a notch last night. There, like, you can do that as a fucking kickoff match. Also, those 3-on-3, like, you're the ones you're actually doing stories for. You're not putting on the SummerSlam. Whatever,
who are the Raw tag champs right now?
whatever.
Is it still
Raw
Miz and
tag champs
Truth?
are Balor and JD McDonough.
Okay.
So at least that one I
Like,
understand. Like they're
yeah, but
all
like,
in other
did
shit.
did Miz and R-Truth get their rematch
Of course
yet?
not.
Like,
Oh, but
Miz is
Miz is
from
hosting
Cleveland.
SummerSlam, so who cares?
Yeah, but like again, but that's my point. Like, Miz is from Cleveland. Gargano's from Cleveland. I get talking about the
I
hometown
don't get
crowd
it.
shit, but like, you'd think they all have title feuds going on. And that makes sense for once. You're not shoehorning them in, but whatever.
It's ridiculous. I'm livid. Anyway, last match of the night: CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins as special ref. For me, this is the hardest match. I don't know where they're gonna go here. I know where I think they should go, but I don't know if they're gonna do that or not.
So this one, watching last night actually helped
I
me make
agree.
my decision. I'm going with Drew.
Wow. Okay. Why?
I
I just
think
gotta
Drew
know.
should. But
I just gotta know for myself.
you just got to what for yourself?
I said I just gotta know why.
Oh, um, I mean, it was a lot of back and forth, so obviously it is a coin flip. But I think with this one, I think at one point, what was Punk saying? Punk said something to Drew that kind of just stuck out to me. Where he was like, oh, now I'm blanking, but something Punk said towards the end. Something he said towards the end just kind of swayed me. Where he was talking about how like he took this from him, he took this from him. Like you're always blaming other people for your mistakes, you get in your own way. And I just something about it made me just think like they're gonna make it like he's like, I don't need your help or you don't need help from anybody. I think Seth's gonna play a role in obviously helping Drew get the win, whether it's on purpose or an accident. Again, I'm kind of losing the thought now, but um
So there's
yeah,
a
I went with yeah.
few things that they said last night that I'm just not sure where they're gonna go with. Which is, first off, obviously there's gonna be like, this is gonna be a no DQ match. In essence, that's what's gonna happen. Seth is gonna let them kind of go. He's not gonna do count outs. He's gonna have a winner. I think that Seth is gonna accidentally Seth is gonna accidentally then purposely cost Punk the match. It's gonna be one of those things where like Drew's gonna do something to Seth to piss him off, because Seth, as much as he's pissed at Punk, I think the whole family dynamic with the bracelet is gonna be what like plays him more sympathetic to Punk than to Drew because he just had the kid and whatever. But I think
Oh, it
that's
was. Sorry, I got the thought.
go
It was
ahead.
Punk calling Drew the third wheel and
Yeah,
saying like you got nothing compared to what we got, and
I was gonna bring that
it
up
built
too.
it up as Drew being the one to kind of take advantage of whatever this combustible situation's gonna be.
So that's actually where I was literally going with that, where I think then that's going to have Seth like accidentally do something to Punk, and that's going to set off Punk and Seth arguing and getting each other's face
Yeah.
and yada yada. And
Yep.
then Drew's going to fucking wreck him and then force, like, Seth's going to have to count the 3 even though he doesn't want to. Like, I agree. I think they kind of really set it up where Punk's like, I'm going to have to kick the crap out of you for my family, where Drew's just like, I want to beat you. I want to prove that I am
Yeah.
the better wrestler or the better man, whatever the case is.
And I had a problem with something Seth said last night. He he said he volunteered to be the special guest referee because no other referee would referee the match, and like
Pussies.
kind of bullshit to me because it's like that's why you're volunteering, not because their bullshit screwed you out of winning the championship and ever getting a title shot
Right.
ever again. Like the motivation was just way off from me, where it's like I'm gonna be the referee because I volunteered because nobody else will refer. Like, that was weak.
No, I 100% agree. Like, no, you volunteered because, like, one man is who you've been in a feud with for the past, like, year, and the other guy cost you your chance at the belt for the foreseeable future. Like, how
And
do
I'll
you
say
not
it
want to
right
be
now,
involved?
I'm gonna be pissed off if they do a ref bump spot with Seth, and then another ref comes out to ref in any way. After that, I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Like,
I cannot wait to see Seth Rollins knocked out and another ref come and make the count.
Yeah, I don't mind if he takes a ref bump, but even then, like, I hate the thing where it's like, oh, a ref bump, like, but he's a wrestler, but he's wearing a referee shirt now, so he's laid out
So
longer.
he's weak. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That
I don't want to
it's
see
like
that shit,
kryptonite.
man.
When you put on a wrestler, it zaps their energy.
No, thank you. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, me and Juice are so excited for SummerSlam this weekend. We cannot wait. We hope you guys share in our excitement, and we hope you guys truly enjoyed if you are excited for SummerSlam this weekend. Some of these matches do look good. The matches themselves will probably be good. Just wish I was excited about the story more. That's about it. AEW this week has some. Does that what's on tap for tomorrow night with Dynamite?
Well, before we do roll, I do have a few more notes, but we'll get back to them.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, it's okay. Paige and Darby is tomorrow night.
Oh, that's right. That's gonna be a good one.
Osprey and Archer.
Yeah, that's what they're setting all this shit up with him for.
The Conglomeration is teaming up to take on a random team. Roderick Strong, Roosh, and the Black Mortos.
Nice.
The Beast Mortos. Yeah, it's kind of a random trio that they're doing there, but I'll allow it, I guess.
Rush boo, says Cover Last.
And then they're doing Stat versus Willow. It's an eliminator match for Willow CMLL title. From there, I forget what.
They treat that feud so weird with Stat and Willow. It's so annoying. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
What were your notes for WWE?
So I don't get why Otis is still wearing a free Otis shirt. Isn't he like not with Gable at all anymore?
He's still like attached to him. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea why he still wears a free Otis shirt either.
Like he was wearing it last night. I'm like, why free Otis? Isn't
That's
he
all
free?
the merch they
He's
got
not
left,
with
man.
I don't know. And then I'm officially on board with Matt with the whole Wyatt 5 thing. Like, that was so like. Have they even referenced like the fact that there's 5 of them, even though they're called the Wyatt 6 on TV, at all?
Not that I've heard of. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been listening, to every single word they say when their promos come up. But for the most part, their promos have been more about themselves and like why they joined and stuff.
Man, it's brutal. I saw that segment last night where they took off the mask and everything. I'm like, this has got nothing to it. I'm sorry.
But the only good thing that came from it was Gable again going to the back and being like, "Hey, Detective Gable on the case again. I figured out the other members of the Wyatt family, of the Wyatt 6, and Pierce is like, yeah, they just unmasked themselves 10 minutes ago.
I don't know. It just don't hit for me. Like
That's the only
most
part
of
that
it,
got me.
unfortunately. But my last note is that crowd last night. Fucking hell, man, that was bad.
They
They
were
did not
like
give
dead, right?
anybody like Punk tried to get them to chant his name, and he like laid out waiting for it, and they didn't do it. He finally made like a face, like, "All right, there you go, thanks." And then the Damage Control. How long have they been gone?
I would say like a few weeks.
Okay, because like
At least
immediately
two,
Cole's
but
like,
probably like 3 or 4.
well, because immediately Cole's like, Damage Control is back, and like the crowd did not give a shit. Oh
You
my god,
so
that was
you know what
brutal.
where they've really lost it with the feud is while they've been gone, they haven't referenced them enough. So like they haven't done promos where they're just like, and we're the ones who talk damage control, and we're the next big shit, and we're this and we're that, yada yada. You know what I mean? Like it's kind
Yeah, it
of eh.
was just bad, man. I was like, holy shit. I was like, wow, like they didn't even can in a fucking cheer. Like they came out to nothing.
I
They
do have one
brawled.
thing I just remembered, not from
Where
Raw
we at?
or SmackDown or AEW, but because it's Tuesday night, I just realized I hope the Joe Hendry concert tonight goes really well on NXT.
Is that on NXT or on Impact? I thought that was on Impact.
Oh, I thought they said it was on NXT tonight.
I have no idea, honestly.
I'm pretty sure
I
it's on tonight, but I could be wrong.
oh, okay.
So we'll see. I'm just interested to see how like the WWE, product
Yeah.
meshes with what he does.
It was just honestly, man, that Raw, like, so I had some stuff to do, like some work to do, and I was like, all right, something to put on in the background while I do my work. And I put it on and I recorded it, and then I was fast forwarding through. Man, it's just bad. Like I don't get how people watch it every week and are like, "This is great content." Like it
I mean,
blows my mind.
and there's little stuff here and there that's good. Like I'm not gonna say it's 3 hours of shit, but like it's not enough, or they don't showcase it enough. And then it also goes back to like the wrestling itself. Like they don't have enough. Like you can argue AEW's too much about the wrestling, not about the story. That's fine, whatever. But at least AEW, like you're guaranteed, even if it's a strange night, to have at least like one good match, two
Yeah, it's
good
just
matches, lengthy
mhm.
matches. Like you're tuning in to watch wrestling. At the end of the day, you still want to watch them wrestle. And on Raw, it's just like here's a promo, and here's another promo, and then here's a recap of what happened an hour ago, and here's a 5 minute match, and here's a recap of that 5 minute match, followed by a promo about the match, followed by another recap about 5 minutes later. Like it's just so much talking and not enough wrestling. It really, that's what it
Yeah,
comes down to. And they have the talent. Like that's what pisses me off. And a perfect example: Raw would have been fine last night. Not good, but fine if Gunther and Finn Balor was a good match. All that could have been forgiven if for the first time ever you let these two guys go for 30 minutes and they have a fucking stud match. That's all anyone would have been talking about today. But no, you fuck it up. You do an interference, the same old bullshit. Damian Priest comes out, same old, like, at least let them go. Let them do shit. It's just so annoying.
yeah. No, it's just it's so clearly just not for me anymore, and it's a shame because there's people there I root for, and there's stuff I want to go well and do well, and like every time I just watch or peek at it, I'm like, oh my god, like
What are you doing?
it's just hard. It's hard to watch it now, and thank God AEW's around.
Agreed.
I'd probably be done with wrestling altogether if it wasn't for that.
I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd be watching WWE, but like, I mean, no, I know what I'd be doing. It'd be 2000, what, 15, 16 again, where I'm like watching WWE, kind of cringy, and like hoping TNA gets better. Like that's what I'd be doing right now. Is just hoping like, come on TNA, like you used to. I remember the glory days. We can get back there. I'm
It's like
I'm behind you.
it's like the meme with the guy in the stick and he's poking at the body. He's like, "Do something."
Come on,
That's you.
man.
That's you with TNA. Like, come
Yeah,
on, do something.
100%. That's so fucking
Yeah.
funny. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's another week for us at the Sharpshooters. Next week, we're going to try a nice 2-episode week, like we said. Please, no matter what Thursday is on, we will be doing the worst wrestler of all time on Thursday. So
Tell your
please make sure you
friends.
tune in.
Tell your dogs.
Everybody.
Tell your wives.
See
Tell
you
your
guys
in-laws.
next week. Peace out.
Tell your parole officers. you.